What is up, Finn fans? Yes, breaking news again today. Not necessarily that breaking again. Was at work, come home, try to get you guys these videos right away from the phone. Little tidbits of news before we get into the breaking news. I will be going live this Saturday at 1 p.m. Hope to see you guys there. We're going to talk a ton about what's going on in the NFL, what's going on with the Miami Dolphins, and so forth. Also, I'm doing a Q&A. If you guys go to the community, you can see that I'm doing a Q&A, so you can go there, ask for questions. Also, I did Twitter. You can go there, ask questions, Q&A video. That should be coming out either tomorrow, depending on if more news breaks, or this weekend. So let's jump into it. Albert Wilson is the second Miami Dolphins to decide to opt out. Him and Hurns, both wide receivers, decided to opt out. And this is what Allen Hurns, Albert Wilson had to say. Not an easy decision to make. I decided to opt out this 2020 season. It was a very tough choice, but since the day I started playing the game, it's always been faith, family, football. Because of this crazy time, I chose to put my family in the best situation I see fit. I will stand by my teammates and brothers to support them 100% throughout the season, and will be continuing the day until I can join them again. One love. Again, I would say 99.99% of the reason these players are opting out for the season is because of family. And that's 100% understandable. I respect his decision, and I hope to see him in 2021 with the Miami Dolphins, because again, in the beginning of 2018, he was the most dynamic wide receiver on the Miami Dolphins. He was single-handedly the reason why we beat the Chicago Bears, single-handedly the reason why we beat a few of the teams that year with his dynamic catch after run after catch and all that stuff. Then, towards the end of last season, he started coming back and doing his thing. Now, tomorrow at 4 p.m. is the deadline for players to decide if they want to opt out. So you might hear more players come out rapidly, being that their hand is now forced, and they have tomorrow at 4 p.m. to be the time that they can opt out. I apologize for the motorcycle and all the honking outside, but there's traffic jam on my block, and I live on the corner of a light. This is for now. Again, I'm moving out of this poop hole, and I can't wait. So then the Miami Dolphins head into, gotta love it, and it's unedited because it's straight from my phone. Then the Miami Dolphins met with Jordan Howard, Matt Breida, and Christian Wilkins, and this is the stuff they talked about. And fun fact, Jordan Howard, with his time in the NFL, 3,895 yards. He has more than Derrick Henry, which got a big fat contract. And from 2016 to 2019, he had the third most rushing yards. That is Jordan Howard. Very excited to have him on the team. He says each running back is ready to fulfill whichever role coaches will ask of them. He also talks about Chan Gailey, and he talks about how Chan Gailey knows his personnel, and no matter who the running backs is, he will tailor to their system. We've heard this time and time again, even from Fitzpatrick, that he is a player's coach, and I'm very excited to see what Jordan Howard can do in Chan Gailey's offense. I would do the same if I were in that situation, being the players that opt out, but I didn't think about opting out. So as of right now, he's not thinking about it. He's ready to play. But he says if he's in that situation where he has a family and he has people he needs to worry about besides himself, he would opt out as well. He talks about his role with the team, being consistent each and every game, but the best player I can, play up to my ability and help the team win. It's a very generic answer, but I'm pretty sure all these players are really, really wanting to make this team the best that they can and finally win some games. I'm not really worried about proving people wrong because, he had his 2,000-yard seasons last 2 years kind of fell off. So again, he said, I'm not really worried about proving people wrong. I'm trying to not be overlooked anymore. I really used to that to my advantage of being the underdog. Love the underdog mentality. Miami Dolphins tend to always be in that underdog mentality situation, always trying to fight to prove people wrong. I remember watching, talks about Matt Breida. I remember watching Matt in college and know he was going to bust a whole lot of runs. He's a very special player, and I expect him to help this team win a lot. this 1-2 dynamic of Breida and Howard is going to be a fantastic thing to watch. He talks about Fitz. He says, I can see everyone loves him. He's a very gracious person and everyone gravitates towards him. He also talks about Tua and he says he's definitely a chill person. People, again, gravitate to him. Like I said about Fitz, he's hungry, but he is being patient. So he understands he needs to compete. All these quarterbacks, everyone on this team is needing to compete to be the starter. Jordan Howard sees that in these guys. And the last thing he says is, I feel like I've put in a lot of good work this offseason to get ready to play. I hope so. I have high hopes for Jordan Howard and especially Matt Breida, who is the next guy up who talks. And he says, I run fast. I like to do everything fast. And he bought himself a Lamborghini because he likes to do everything fast, which I don't know if you want to say that. You know what I'm saying? He also says Flores and Grier told him they had their eye on him for a while and were very excited about the opportunity. They were excited what I would be able to do in this offense. I fit the scheme well with my running ability. Again, he fits the scheme well because he's that speedy back. He can go out wide, catch passes, throw passes to him out of the backfield. Very dangerous in the open field. He says, I'm always going to have a chip on my shoulder. I came in undrafted. That won't change. And we've seen a ton of undrafted guys come into the league and have very successful careers with that chip on their shoulder. One being Preston Williams is doing things, but again, he needs more time. But there's a lot of very good, even Hall of Famers who came in undrafted. He says the Finns locker room reminds him of what it was like in San Francisco in their first year during their rebuild and their chemistry, which me as a Dolphin fan and seeing the trajectory that the 49ers are going, I'm very excited if that is the case and that is true and we're going in that trajectory. The only reason the 49ers had that down year, that 1 year, was because Garoppolo went down. Other than that, here's another motorcycle. Hope you guys enjoy it. They had a very consistent uprising, those 49ers. He said being traded was a bit of a shock, but he was happy to be back in his home state of Florida. And I'm pretty sure all of us Dolphin fans are happy to have him back in this home state. He says, I'm trying to be an overall complete running back in this game, prove to everyone I can be an every down back. I know a lot of people think he's more of a scat back, more of a Darren Sproles type back, not be able to take a lot of the blunt, not take a lot of the hits and the goal line moves. But he's saying that, hey, he's going to prove him wrong and show that he could be an every down back and do all of it. He says, you guys see the next gen stats on him, 23 miles an hour. Until someone can break my time in the same season as him, I'm still the fastest guy. So until someone can do it the same year that he's setting them, he's still the fastest guy. He doesn't care what anyone says. And then the last thing he talks about is that Kalen Ballage wants to race him, which you're going to lose, Kalen. Not saying you're not fast, but not as fast as him. And he says that hopefully one day he's going to race Jakeem Grant. And then finally, they talked with Christian Wilkins. I love Christian Wilkins. I love his attitude. I love everything about him. He says, I'm never a complete player. I'm never done working on my game, which I love because, again, him coming in last season, people had such high expectations of him. Yes, I'd like to see him get more sacks, but his play last season, I was very happy with what I saw. When I noticed from college to the NFL, a lot harder to make bigger plays. And that's the thing that a lot of these rookies have to realize, and they don't realize it until they make the plays and on the field. And it's not like you're not going to see a ton of big play dynamic things because, yes, a good amount of the players you're going to play in college aren't going to make it in the NFL versus the NFL players are those players that could only make it there. It's a lot harder in the NFL. He says, no one's has higher expectations for me than me. I'm working day in and day out to be the best player and leader I can be. Love this kid's fight. I love the fact that he's got a hole in the bottom of his cup. It's never full, and it's always ready to be filled in some more. The new guys from free agencies to rookies to the guys that are here just feels nice. He says that they feel like they've been there forever. There's just this huge camaraderie, this huge chemistry, this huge dynamic between all the team, and it's awesome to hear because that's the biggest thing especially with new teams like this. You need that gel. I don't think anyone can match my energy. I'm always happy and ready to grow. I'm pretty sure if you guys watch that mic'd up, no one can match that energy. Christian Wilkins is always on. We have a chance to be really good. Just take it one day at a time. Don't look too far ahead, because when you look too far ahead, that's when you look past opponents and you end up falling flat on your face. It's different if this was a normal camp. We'd be in pads right now. You have to be more cautious, take more precautions. It's the new norm. I'm pretty sure every NFL player is realizing that, and that's why some of these NFL players are deciding, listen, I don't want to take the chance, and it's best for me to be with my family. Again, you can't knock him for that. He says, I'm behind Allen Hurns, and now obviously Albert Wilson, and support them 100%. And then he says he watches a lot of film on himself, and he's going into this year. He knows where most of his time, focus, and energy will have to be towards. So Christian Wilkins is ready to build off of himself and ready to build on himself. Matt Breida and Howard are ready to be that 1-2 dynamic and really kill it on this offense. And every time I hear these players talk and every time I hear them do their pressers, it just makes me more excited, even hearing from Coach Brian Flores. But that's the video. That's what I got for you guys today. Be sure to comment below. I'm interested in what you guys have to say about Albert Wilson opting out this year. His contract will be moved to next year, so he would be a free agent next year. Now he has a 1 year next year. I'm interested in what you guys have to say about that. I'm also interested to see what you guys have to say about what these three players have to say. What do you think the running game is going to be like? Do you think Christian Wilkins can take that next step, or do you think he'll have a sophomore slump? Very interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Like I said, I'll be live Saturday, 1 p.m. And I'm doing a Q&A video, so go into the community, look for the area where I ask for the questions. You can go there or on my Twitter. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. If there is breaking news, like I said, you'll get videos like this. But other than that, like usual, stay classy. Fins up.